Alright, welcome back. Mech 20, or Mech, sorry, not 2320, but this is Mech 1340. We're working on PLCs. Alright, this time we're going to do a retentive on delay timer. Okay, so remember, retentive means if it becomes like disconnected from power at any time, it'll actually keep where it was in the time count. So we'll see how that kind of works here. I've already set up my PLC. I'm using the Siemens S7-1500. Alright, I've changed my I/O addresses, so I'm using for 0.0 through 0.7 for my inputs, and I'm using 4.0 through 4.7 for my outputs. So I've already done that. If you need to see how to do that again, go back to lecture 1 and lecture 2. Those walk you through how to set those up again. But for us, alright, we're going to create a new tag table. Okay, so we'll go to PLC tags, create a new tag table. Alright, so I want the start button. And remember, I'm not going to use the letter P as I'm doing this because that's my pause button. Alright, so I'm going to call it E-stop. That's my E-stop. Alright, but I can't use P because it interferes with my recording of my video. And I can't pause the video and enter it in because it just unpauses the video. So I got a little dilemma there. I'll overcome that someday. Alright, so E-stop would be my E-stop there. Okay. I'm going to have a new button here that I want to call reset. I want to be able to reset the timer here. So I'm going to reset, okay, and that's going to be my I0.2. So that's going to reset my timer. Now I want to, in this case, I'm just turning on a light. So I just want to turn on, can't spell today either, light 1. Okay, and then we need to do elapsed time, E time. Okay. Now notice when I do that, it defaults to all inputs here, so I got to make sure I go back my light 1. I got to change this so that it's an output. Okay, so I click in there, I change it to a Q. All right, and I know my first output is 4.0, so I'm going to change it to 4.0. So that'll turn on my first light, and then my elapsed time, okay, is not going to be Boolean. Okay, it's going to be time. So I got to click there. Change this down to time, okay, and it'll click right there. All right, and then I got time, and then when it turns pink, it's not a valid address, so I know that, so I got to go here. Remember, elapsed time has to be a memory coil, okay, and I'm just going to use the default operand is D, that is correct, and then I'm going to use just 5 because I'm going to run it for 5 seconds. Okay, you can run it for longer, however long you want. Just remember, in labs, 10 seconds takes a lot longer than you think. So some of the labs ask you to use 10 seconds. You know, that just takes a long time, more than you think. Alright, so we got all of our tags set up and ready to go. We're going to go down here to program blocks, main OB1. Alright, and then I'm going to drag and drop. Remember, if you don't see these on your setup, they're over here under general, under bit logic operations. There's a little toggle arrow that you can pull down here that shows up all the gates as well. They're just here for shortcut purposes. So I'm going to drag them down here, and you know, just note, oh, I didn't like where I put that, right? So I was going to kind of show you guys how to drag one anyways and move it. So if I didn't like it there, I can move it. If I can click, and I'm going to drag it right there to that block. Now it leaves the little OR here, so make sure you click on that and delete it. Sometimes it's a little funkier, part of it, that is not where I wanted that, so I accidentally put that there. So I'm going to delete that, okay? If it lets me here, I can right click, delete, takes that out. Now I want to click over here because this is where I want to put my output light. Okay, as long as that little green box shows, I'm good, okay? And then I want my, my retentive timer, so I'm going to go down here. And this is the TONR, okay, time accumulator. So it's retentive, okay, so it's going to accumulate the time here. I'm going to drag it right here where that green box is, so hopefully it puts it in the right place. All right, so this is my TONR. R's for retentive. TON is our time on delay, okay, and we'll call it timer 1. Hit enter. All right, so it puts it in there for me. I just got to make sure that I fill everything out here. I didn't mean to click there. I'm going to drag this down a little just so we can see everything a little bit better. I don't need a network 2 right now, so I'm going to delete it. That helps with any random errors as well. Alright, so this is my stop button. So I click there, and that's my emergency stop. This was my start button. Okay, so I click there to put my start in. This was my light. Okay, that's going to turn on my I/O simulator. This is my accum time right here, or elapsed time, whatever you want to call it. All right, this is the actual time that I want it to delay. So I'm going to click here and I'm going to do T pound, and I just want 5 seconds. Okay, if you wanted different times, so if you wanted like 5 hours, 20 minutes and 30 seconds, you would do like 5H underscore, what did I say, 20M underscore like 30S. Okay, so if you wanted to add multiple like times in there, okay, and it'll let you know if you put in right or not. Okay, and then I need my reset, and that was my button that I created, or my toggle switch to reset. All right, so I'm ready to go now. I'm using my Retentive on delay timer. All right, so remember I got to compile, all right, everything here. So since this is my first time through, I'm going to click on the PLC and hit the compile button so everything compiles. All right, then I'm going to pull this up so I can double check. Oh, it's showing up for me. I've got a couple warnings and 0 errors. 0 errors is the important piece right there. It's the warnings that it's not even showing me, but usually warnings don't make a big deal. There we are. We click on the little triangle. It's not really even showing. Just saying I got 2 warnings, but normally warnings aren't anything like bad. We'll know once we download this if the everything goes okay. All right, so I'm going to go down here and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to download this onto my PLC. All right, I didn't set it up, so I need to do start search. You might have to make sure that you choose the type of interface here. So PNIE, that's if I'm directly plugging in with Ethernet. If there's different pull downs, you might be connecting wireless. Same with your PC interface. So this is a setup that I just use in class. All right, it's found the device. Okay, so I don't need to hit start search. I'm going to go ahead and load this device. All right, continue without synchronization. All right, load. All right, we're almost done here. Finally, glad I got an upgrade on my computers here. These are much faster than what I've had in the past. So, all right, if we put the glasses on, we are monitoring the system right now. Okay, so I'm using the Festo I/O sim for this one. And like I said, normally we can use the Amatrol 87 iOS as well for doing this. Okay, so I have my e-stop actually pushed right now on here. I'm just using switches 1, 2, and 3 to control this. Okay, so if I move my e-stop, so now my e-stop's active. All right, it's completely closed there, and then I'm going to be ready to hit the start button. Okay, so I'm going to hit the start button, and remember this is an on delay timer. So when I hit start, okay, it's going to start accumulating time. It's going to accumulate time up to 5 seconds and then turn the light on. Now I'm stuck, right? Because if I turn the start button off, okay, on the other one, okay, on the non-retentive it reset it, but here I'm stuck because the lights, on and things like that, no matter what, I can hit start again and it doesn't start over. See how I'm doing that? And it doesn't start accumulating time again, all right? That is why we have the reset button. So now I have the reset button down here. And that's my 0.2. So I reset. Now see, I'm reset. Everything's off. So that's good now. Now if I hit start again, okay, it's going to start accumulating time. And the light's going to turn on after 5 seconds. Now, if I leave the start button on and I just hit the reset button, okay, as long as I'm holding the reset button, it'll sit like that. When I let go of the reset button, okay, it starts accumulating time, and it will turn on in 5 seconds. Okay, so that's the whole point of resetting. You can use other outputs. You don't have to use a button. I can use another light to reset this, or kind of has things. So if you want to cascade your lights or do that sort of thing. All right, but any type of timer that's retentive, you have to have a reset button or a reset coil. All right, that's tied to that. I could have a reset coil that's tied to that as well, but you must reset the retentive one or it will not work. Okay, so I'm going to turn off the start button here for a second. I'm going to go ahead and reset my timer. Now I'm going to show you the whole point of the retentive piece of the timer here. So I'm going to hit the start button, okay, and then I'm going to turn it off for a second. All right, notice the accumulated time is 1 second and 26 milliseconds. It did not reset. Okay, this is the whole point of a retentive timer. I'm going to turn the start button on again in a second. All right, now look. All right, I'm up to 2 seconds. And I turned the start button off. The timer's kept track of where I was. Guys, this is really important. If we're like filling a tank and the power goes out or things like that, you don't want it to start from the tank filling over again when it's already half full. Things like that. So it's accumulated, you know, how much has gone in. So I can turn it on again, and then I'll turn it off one more time. All right, notice it accumulated. It knows it's at 4 seconds. So now it's going to take less than a second, all right, for that light to turn on. And it does. Okay, and then I turn the start button off. I'm going to reset everything here. All right, reset my timer. And notice the reset goes active when I have the reset on. And it tells me that my reset is true because I have my reset switch flipped right now to reset the timer. Okay, when I turn my reset switch off, it goes back to false. Okay, so the reset's already been done. Okay, so now what happens? What if I'm like accumulating time here and I'm at 2 seconds? What happens if I hit reset now? If I hit reset now, it indeed resets the timer for me. So the reset will always reset. So it'll forget that it accumulated 2 seconds. All right, but I can let it run. All right, after 5 seconds, it turns on. So that's the whole point, guys, of the retentive on delay timer. Okay, that it retains where it's at, and you must reset your timer, okay, in order for everything to reset, okay, with the time. Or it's just going to sit there and I did my 5 seconds and it's going to sit there and stay on until you tell it to reset. So big difference, okay, on delay timer keeps track of the time as it's accumulating, whether you it's energized or not, until it energizes, and then you must reset the timer. All right, guys, hopefully that helps you out with the retentive on delay timer. If you have any questions, ask me in class when we are doing labs, or else if you need a team meet or Zoom meet or something over this, let me know. Else, guys, have a great day. I'll see you in the lab.